Okay.
Hey everybody, Jordan Adler here, coming to you from Jerome, Arizona, with my friend Jared Maidenberg, who's coming to you. I'm gonna make it a surprise where you are, Jared. Actually,
Yeah, where am I?
look at that, look at that. Looks like beach money to me. Welcome to the
Yeah.
Beach Money Podcast, where we talk everything residual income and the life that it can help you to create. It's all about lifestyle, and so myself and my friend Jared, we're going to be smoking a cigar here because that's like doesn't have to be part of the beach money life, but it can be. So
Can be.
yeah, so we'll get this thing lit up and start the interview.
So Jordan, I hate to show you my little ghetto lighter here.
Where's your torch?
That, that's embarrassing. Yeah, my torch is not here. I need a nice one like that for sure. Hey, I've had a stogie with you right there on your patio. I know where you are.
Yeah, you came up here into the mountains of Arizona to our little ghost town, Jerome,
Yeah,
and hung out with me for a day, and we had a blast.
we sure did. I've
Well,
still got the coffee mug
from the Flatiron.
from the Flatiron. That's
I was
right.
there this morning. Yeah. So hey, let me just tell you a little bit about Jared, and we'll get things rolling. Let me just check one thing. We're good. Okay. Uh, Jared's brand is very similar to the Beach Money brand. It's called the Sovereign Surfer. He's earned seven figures in network marketing, dedicated to living an epic life and helping others to do the same. Freedom is his number one value, and I can say the same thing on every level. He's one of those 20-year success stories. So I want to hear more about that, of course. Originally, he was born on Canada and he went to high school in Australia, spent most of his life in Houston, Texas. And 5 years ago to the month, he moved to the beautiful beaches of, you ready? Nicaragua, where he's been surfing. In fact, he was surfing about 2 hours ago, maybe even less than 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Played pickleball, basketball, hanging out with friends and family. Thanks to one of the things that I love about life is residual income, and his motto is to leave people better than you found them. So, Jared, let's talk about Beach Money and the Sovereign Surfer. Our brands are similar in some way.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your perspective. Like, tell a little bit about your story and tell a little bit about your perspective on why you're called the Sovereign Surfer.
Yeah, and you know what, Jordan? I think because I may move inside. Is the wind okay? Do you hear the
No, you
wind? I
can't
just
hear it at all. Everything looks good. Sounds good.
okay.
Yeah.
So there's the view, and I just look, when most people think about lifestyle, when most people think about like what do they want to do with their lives, you know, the beach. Not everybody's a surfer, right? Like for me, surfing represents the ultimate expression of freedom for me, right? But what's your thing? Like Jordan, I know you're a helicopter pilot. You've done hang gliding, surfing have a lot of parallels. Is like, what does freedom look like for you? And so I just, quite frankly, man, I just wanted to go surfing. I grew up, you said it earlier. I grew up on the beaches of Australia in high school. My mom's an Aussie. She lives in Perth, Western Australia.
Wow.
Perth.
I've been there.
Yeah, you have been in Perth. I think we chatted about that.
Yeah.
And most of my adult life, the story I told myself, and maybe it was true, was I didn't have the time and I didn't have the money to go surfing. I lived in Texas. So I was a little bit landlocked in the Gulf of Mexico, or I guess Gulf America now, whatever we call it. I was a little landlocked. So the only time we got surf in Texas, man, is, when a hurricane was coming. So when everybody's leaving the island, the surfers would be going to the island. But most of my adult life, Jordan, quite frankly, I just didn't have the time and money
Right.
to go surfing.
What were you doing?
And
What kind of work were you doing back then?
yeah, I always say to people, I tried almost every job till I figured out there wasn't really one for me. We jokingly say I was psychologically unemployable. That's cute. Whatever. It's kind of true.
True.
I just, I always saw life a little bit differently. My dad was a doctor. My brother was a top car salesman. My other late brother, Jeff, was an attorney. And I'll never forget, like fishing trips, my dad, Jordan, would be sitting there casting away. And my dad would say, if you want to be able to do this stuff, like have a lake house, have a boat, you got to be your own boss.
Right.
So my dad planted early seeds. Like he was a doctor, right? He kind of set his own schedule. But you and I both know from the cash flow quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki, like doctors are stuck in the S quadrant. They're
Right.
not really over on the B side. So they don't, if he's not seeing patients, he's not making money. And I remember most weekends he'd have his phone, his big, only drug dealers and doctors had them, the big brick cell phones,
Yep. Yep.
and
Yeah.
he'd have it on the boat. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? He's like, well, that's a patient calling. I'm on call. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So we had the stuff, but he didn't have the freedom, right? Like I'm hanging out now 5 years on the beaches of Nicaragua, surfing, playing pickleball, the beach money lifestyle, which you inspired me, by the way. Thank you. You've always been a huge inspiration to me. I just wanted to go surfing. And, I was speaking to a buddy of mine, Travis, the other day. He owns a really cool brand like ours
Uh-huh.
called Surf Work Surf. He's a brilliant entrepreneur. He lives on Puerto Rico for about 7 years with his wife. And he's like me as a surfer, and he wanted to go surfing. He's like, no, I wasn't going to be a professional surfer. So no one was going to sponsor me to surf.
Right.
So he said, and I very much agree with this. I often use this term as well. He wanted to sponsor himself,
Yeah.
right? Because he wasn't going to get sponsored to go surfing. So he, is a little bit different model than ours. It's not direct sales network marketing, but he's, a list builder. He does internet marketing. So all his customers that buy from him are his sponsors that allow him to live the life he lives, surfing, working maybe 3 hours a day, and then surfing in the evening in Puerto Rico. So, brother, that was it, man. I read your book. You and I met in 1998.
Really? You froze up on me. Jared? Jared? Oh, there you are. You're back.
Man, I lost you. Here we go. So
I don't
this
know.
is the challenge.
Yeah, maybe
Where to,
we're back. Let's just keep going and we'll see what happens.
and maybe I need to move closer inside, just to be.
We had a good run there. So let's
It
just
was working. We'll
yeah.
do it in
Yeah.
spats. So
One of
where did I cut off?
one of the things you said when you're talking about a doctor, I was actually with a surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon on the beaches with a group of people, and he never really understood what we did. And
Yeah.
while we were out there, like we were in Bora Bora, like way out, right? And he's with his wife and he's laying on a raft in the turquoise waters, just beautiful water. And he says, Jordan, he goes, I never understood what you guys do, but now I do. He says, because this guy has his own private jet. He goes,
Yeah.
now I'm stressing out because I'm not doing surgery. And if I'm not doing surgery, I'm not making money. You're out here laying on the raft making doctor money without having to go to work and not stressing. And it's true.
Yeah.
Like you understand that. That's why you're where you are.
Look, our buddy Art Jonak said it best. If you understood residual income, you would run through a brick wall to get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is so true. And I got into Excel Communications when you were there. That was your, I think, 12th company after 11 years. You had done, nothing in the industry. God bless you. You kept going. But I remember meeting you in Excel, and you were a huge inspiration to me because you just showed what's possible if you believe, you do the work, you stay resilient, you stay persistent. And I'm like, I don't care how long it takes me. And in my case, it was kind of a 20-year overnight success.
Me
And
too.
I
I
made a
mean,
little
it
money.
was many years before. It was 14 years before I saw a residual check, but
Wow.
I wasn't going
Wow.
to give up on that dream, and I didn't. And because of that, the last 30 years have been incredible, and I'm not done.
Mm,
You know,
yeah. No, well, you get a taste of it, and then you want others to get a piece and a taste of what we've been able to enjoy, right? Like
Yeah.
it's been a dream of mine my whole life. I'm 54. I think you might have a few years on me. I'm not sure. You look great, by the way.
I have 12, 13 years on you, something like that.
No, really?
I'm 67.
Wow.
Yeah, 60.
Wow. I knew you were 60, but I didn't know 67. That's incredible, man.
Yeah, I feel good.
You look awesome. You look awesome.
So,
Yeah.
one cigar a day does.
Yeah. That's the
It
secret.
reverses. It reverses you. It reverses your age. So,
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't blindside you, but I have some questions regarding blind spots.
Okay.
Um, and so what I see a blind spot is typically, I know for me, 13 years, I had no success and I was doing the business, but I couldn't get anything going. And it's because I had blind spots. It's when I started to see things that I didn't see before that
Okay.
caused, it kind of opened up, it opened up my vision to where I could go do the business and have success. Anything that comes to mind when I say that, like what are the blind spots of people that are struggling in the business or haven't made it? What would you say are their blind spots? Things that they're not seeing that are keeping them from having the success they're looking for.
It's a really good question. Um, you know, the
Anything come
thing
to
for
mind? I've
me,
got some ideas on it, but I'd love to hear what if you have any ideas on that. Like take somebody who's been in business for 4 years or been in
yeah,
the business for 1 year,
yeah.
and really they have a big dream. They're excited about their business, but they're just not getting any traction. What are the things they're not seeing that if they saw those things, they would start having success?
Well, I think one of the myths that leaders say to our teams in this industry is just try harder, work harder.
Right.
I know you love that analogy of the
Fly.
fly and the window said, "Zzz,"
Right here. That was right here.
right. The
Yep.
fly just goes and goes and goes. Eventually, it dies, but the door, the window is open right over here. So it's not always try harder. Like, look, if you've been at this for 4 years and you're working hard, you're doing the work, you're making the calls, you're connecting, you're actually working, and it's not working. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So, you know, you'd have to dig in with them, but maybe a blind spot is, what are you saying to people? Maybe you're speaking too much. Maybe I would say less to more people, right? Maybe you're focusing on the same 10 people all year,
Mm,
hammering them until they're ready. So, I think a blind spot, Leo Corley, you know him,
yep.
our good buddy Leo in Excel. He said it to me one day. He said, Jared, I think you're saying too much to too few people.
Right.
So say less to more people because, the day you stop looking for acceptance of what you're doing and just start looking for partners or customers
Uh-huh.
is the day your business can take off. And quite frankly, I was so addicted to being liked. It was so important
You're hitting a
what
lot of the
people,
blind spots.
yeah, like it was a huge revelation for me because my blind spot was I got to work harder. I got to just do this. And he said, just say less to more people and stop looking for acceptance of what you're doing. So I think a lot of that really comes down to personal growth. We say it is a personal growth development industry. And I largely believe that. I don't think you have to, excel, as a water walking guru on a level of personal development, but it definitely helps. I think sometimes it's not so much what you're doing, but who you're being.
Mhm.
I did a talk with Art Jonak on his mastermind stage. It was be more like the sun, less like the wind. So some of us are blowing on people hard.
Mm.
We're blowing. And when the wind blows, what do people do? They clam up, they shelter themselves. The wind's blowing. Whereas, I was at the beach then, the sun's out and people are on the beach and they're
Yeah.
opening up, right? Their hearts open, their arms are open, they're receptive. So some of us are like, Jordan, you got to do this. This is going to be amazing. Come on, you got to join. And you're like blowing on them, right? So the blind spot might be that it's just not necessarily they're not working hard. They're just maybe trying too hard and
Yeah.
saying way too. Does that make sense? We're blowing up
No,
on
that's good. Yeah, I think there's a few blind spots that you touched on there. One is, say maybe you're talking too much.
too
Um,
much. Yep,
you could be too anxious to have success and people read that and they feel it as desperation and people don't want to be around desperate people. So
for
that
sure.
could be that. There's a lot of things it could be. But I think it's important, just like that fly. There was a wide open door 10 feet away, but the fly couldn't see it. So instead it died right on the windowsill. If that
Yeah,
fly had just shifted his attention, and I think that's what happens is the people that don't throw in the towel, they end up finally seeing what a top earner sees, and that allows them to start to have some growth. And it doesn't even have to be top earner. It could be, enough to make a couple grand a month. You can live a pretty good life for a couple, $3,000 a month in Nicaragua. I know that.
Yeah, you really can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also another blind spot that I see is people that are starting and stopping, starting and
Yeah.
stopping, starting.
Hard
You
stopping.
want to talk on that?
Yeah, for sure. I think, consistency is everything, right? They say go talk to 100 people, right? But rather than trying to talk to, you know, 50 people in one day and then taking 2 weeks off, then do another 30. If you were to just speak to 1 to 2 people a day consistently, I know you're the master of the numbers, right? I know you did a call with Richard Brook the other day and you said you had been in your company 20 years. It sponsors like 700 people,
Right.
works out to about two a month if you do the math.
Yeah, it's actually three
But
a
you're
month, but 3 a month.
3 a month. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's not like rock star numbers, right? I know people that, but they don't do it consistently for 3, 5, 10, 20 years, right? They go really hard. And, we hear all about these bursts going hard for 90 days. And sure, you can do that. Sometimes it is good to, you know, throttle it down for 90 days to get out and launch. But consistency over time is the magic. Kita,
It's going to
that's
win.
my dog.
Yeah.
Kita, what are you barking at over there? Kita.
Kita.
She must. Here, this is Kita. This is my Shepsky dog watching. She sees something over here. What are you growling at?
Is she an
What are
Akita?
you-
No, she's not an Akita.
No, she's a shepherd husky, and she sees something. She's barking at Kita. Leave him alone. Might be a little creature in the
You
jungle.
got
I
all
don't
kinds
know.
of you got all kinds of monkeys and marsupials and all kinds of things out there, right?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you never know what's crawling around the jungle. Sorry about that. Hopefully, you don't hear it. But yeah, I think consistency is everything, man. If people would just realize if they reached out to 1 or 2 people a day, and I know a lot of leaders teach more, but it's what people can do consistently. You could do 5 or 10 reach outs a day, but you're not going to do it consistently for 20 years. Life's going to get in the way.
Right.
But you can make a deal with yourself that no matter what happens, I'm going to reach out to 1 or 2 people a day and just say, Jordan, hey, buddy, I'm really excited about something. I'd love to get your eyes on it. Are you open to taking a look at a new project I'm working
Wait,
on?
you got
That's
to
it.
say that again because that's magic right there. Just say that again because if everybody just got that and just used that, yeah, go ahead. Once a day.
Right. Everybody wants the magic script, right? I think one thing, Jordan, that's made you and I look, I suck at a lot of stuff. I'm not very organized. You can ask my wife or my friends. There's a lot of things I'm not good at, but I think what you and I excel at is human connection. We are pretty good at building relationships. I mean, you're in the relationship business, right? With promptings. It's a beautiful mechanism. So, it's just people look for the magic script. What do I say? Just say something honest. Hey, Jordan. Hey, buddy. Really excited about a new project I'm working on. I'd love to get your eyes on it, get your feedback. Would you be open to taking a look? Or can I send you some info and get your feedback?
There's no
If you
technology.
ask,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
right. If you just ask that on it like a voice memo or a text, there's no magic script. Everybody's like, tell me what to say. Tell me, you know what to say. And if you knew what to say, because you do, and you did that once or twice a day, an honest, not a pitch, not a sale.
For how long? Oh, you froze up again on me. Jared? This is what happens when you do Zooms with people in Nicaragua. I don't know if the recording is still picking me up, but I'm assuming it is. Hopefully, Jared will be back in a moment. Well, I'll just do a little cigar education while we're waiting for Jared. See that nice white ash? This is a Beach Money cigar, by the way. This is our commercial break. It's a Beach Money cigar, Playa de Nero. Actually, this is grown in Nicaragua. I didn't mention that to Jared. Oh, he's gone. Are we still recording? We are. This was grown in Nicaragua. It's Cuban seed, rolled in Miami. And whenever it has a white ash like that that holds on, that's a good sign. That's a good cigar. And what you want to do before you light it is just toast it up real good like you saw us do. Jared, you're back.
We're back. Holy moly. I apologize.
I was just giving them I was doing a commercial break and talking about these cigars and the qualities of a good cigar. You know what, Jared? I don't know if you know this, but this tobacco was grown in Nicaragua. Did you know that?
I think I did. I think you told me that when I was in Arizona with you. Yeah,
Maybe.
Nicaragua was a huge cigar country up north in Esteli.
Yes.
And look at that nice ash. I already ashed mine. Look at that.
Yeah. This will be going here in a minute. So, yeah. So where were we before we lost you?
So just, reaching out to people 1 to 2
Yeah.
times a day, just being honest and sincere. If people would stop looking for acceptance and looking for customers and partners and just being
And
honest and sincere.
looking for a gimmick, right?
Right. Yeah. There's no magic script. Everybody is looking to learn from a guru. You don't need to. You need to be human. You need to be interested in others and how you can help people. Like my whole thing is like my buddy Travis, live an awesome or epic life and help others do the same. If that's my intention when I reach out to people to leave them better than I found them, to help them, like if you truly believe your product or service is going to help them, why would you hesitate to reach out? And
Right.
don't sell them, just ask them to take a look.
Yeah.
That's all you and I have been doing for 30 years, right? Some say no, some say yes, some say maybe, some say yes 10 years later. But you know what? The people that come to you 20 years later and say, hey, you still doing that prompting thing? You go, oh, yeah, I'm still building relationships. Sure.
That's like be
Of course I
solid.
am.
That's a blind spot for a lot of people is they're not solid. Meaning
Right.
they come off the people that they know that know them think of them as being a little flaky, and that's a hard one for some people
Yeah.
to swallow. It's like if people look at like if you're constantly starting and stopping, or you're constantly changing your cell number, or you're constantly moving over and over and over and over again, those are signs that you don't have any stability, and people don't
Right.
really. That's not a sign of success. So
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
think you are the epitome of all people I know in the industry. You're the person I've known that has bounced least around the industry. And, you planted your flag with one company 2 decades ago. And so, yeah, and that's the thing. Make a decision
mm,
wherever you are. Make a decision that you're doing this. You're not going to give it a college try. You're not going to see most people are looking for acceptance and they want to be liked and accepted. And so if I reach out to 5 or 10 friends, ask them to take a look and they go, well, that's stupid or that's not for me or I'm not interested, to go, oh, I guess this isn't for me or I guess it's not going to work. And I get it. Like it's tough to build up that belief and that I grew up with a dad that told me no to everything I asked, so I have pretty thick skin.
right.
But, it really is making that decision, and you're gonna do it no matter what for as long as it takes, and you and
Yeah,
I
that's like
right?
such a huge thing that you're saying, Jared. This is like one of the most important things is that
Mm,
because when you decide and when it's really a decision
yeah,
and not just trying it, then no matter what happens, you've already decided. So no matter what happens, you're going to keep going, right? It's
yeah,
your decision and your intention. And yeah, so if you're constantly changing your direction because of what people say, then you're never going to get
yeah.
where you want to go. Yeah. So any thoughts for someone that wants to either live a nomadic life, traveling the world, or find a beautiful spot on the beach somewhere to live the good life like you? You're living like this is one of my favorite episodes because you are living the beach money life. I mean, you gave me a little video tour of the place that you're staying there, and
Oh, man.
it's just like something you'd see in a magazine. This is what people dream of. So somebody that maybe right now they're living in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in a suburban cookie cutter neighborhood, and they
Yeah.
got that dream, that vision, but they don't have the income, they don't have the freedom. What advice would you have for them, and how could they get there?
Well, I think that's a really good question for me because, I am the guy, I never made any serious money, Jordan, until I was 45 years of age.
Wow.
I was a late bloomer in every sense of the word. So that's a good question for me, I feel, because I think I'm a guy like you that can give people a lot of hope. I mean, for crying out loud, 11 years, 11 years, 10 different companies, or 10 different companies,
Yeah.
11 years, right?
10
12,
years, 11 companies, but you're
10
close.
years,
Close
11
enough.
companies,
Yeah.
12. So 11th year, 12th company.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have quit 10 times over.
Well, and I did. I'd quit and then I'd restart. That was the problem. I would quit and then restart and quit and restart,
Right.
quit and restart. That was the
Yeah.
problem. The problem
Yeah.
is
Now
that
some of those
got tough.
companies quit. Some of those companies quit on you, I think, too.
A couple of them, yeah.
Okay. So look, man, when I was shown those circles, I was living in efficiency apartment. I stood up Leo Corley, my best friend in the world today, that showed
Yeah.
me Excel, where you and I met.
Yeah.
I was so broke, dude, at that time. I was living in an efficiency apartment, driving a red Nissan 200 SX, and I was embarrassed to pull up to a meeting with a businessman with Leo because I was broke and busted and disgusted. But I had a dream, and I knew, Jordan, even when I was scraping, oh man, even when I was scraping up change to buy my daughter a pizza at CC's Pizza as a single dad,
Mm.
I knew, man, that one day I'd make it. I knew that one day I'm like, this is all going to be a great story. I'll get to tell this story one day. And here I am telling it from the beach.
People
But
don't
man,
realize. They don't realize the struggles. They see you, they see
yeah,
people that are on the stages and they hear the story, but they don't get that they were where many others are, when they
probably worse in
yeah,
many cases, right? I mean, look, it's all relative, right? My broke might look different to your broke, but I've had negative, right? Like every transaction I did on ATM often costs me 25 bucks. I didn't have the money for the
right.
$3 transaction at the store, right? And luckily I was, somewhat persuasive with my banker. We built a great relationship. Somehow they liked me and they would write off a lot of those, overdraft charges. Thank God. God
I wish
bless
they'd
that
done that for me.
man.
To like me as much as they like you.
Well, I remember you rolling out all those 12 different credit cards,
22 credit cards. Yeah, all
22.
strung together. In fact, thanks
I
for the
don't even
reminder.
think, I don't even think I qualified.
I'll bring those to my next
Yeah,
event.
those are cool, man. So,
So what?
look,
Yeah,
man,
go
I
ahead.
I knew, Jordan, I'm going to do whatever it takes for as long as it freaking takes till I get free. Because this was my dream. I wanted to go surfing. I wanted to be able to do what I want, when I want, with whom I want, for as long as I want. And I don't care how long it took. And it took me to almost 50 years of age to get free and 20 years
Now,
of
how long does it take you to get from where you live to the beach with your
3
surf?
minutes,
3
3
minutes. How
minutes
about that? So you can surf every day if you want to.
every day. My first 2 years through Nicaragua was in the water almost every day. Now pickleball's taking a little precedence, but I still surf again, pretty much whenever I want. Obviously, if there's waves. But man, I knew, Jordan, when I saw those circles, when Leo drew out, like you said, Don Fela's napkin presente, 5 who get 5 or 3 who get 3. I saw leverage. I saw residual income. I saw breaking free of the time for money trap. And I'm like, man, this one day is going to set me free, this model. And it took till, 40, let's say I'm 54. I've been in my current company 10 years. So it took about 20 plus years to be an overnight success and about 3 years inside that company to break free. And now for the last 5 years, quite frankly, I have not worked much at all. And it's just a residual income machine, much like
Uh,
you've been.
you posted a video the other day where you had monkeys like jumping in the trees above you, right?
There's actually one up here in the tree right now. That's what Kita's barking at. There's one
Oh,
up, there's one up there in the tree. I don't know if you can see it, but the trees, he's
yeah,
a howler. You can barely hear him. He's up there in the tree. You
yeah.
probably can't see him.
Hard to
Yeah,
see.
there's monkeys all over this joint. And,
Crazy. That's so
you
cool.
know, I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm happier than I've ever been. And at 54, I'm out there, surfing with the youngins, playing pickleball with the youngins. Like, I'm just telling you guys, whatever it takes to do this, you do it for as long as it takes till you figure it out. I mean, Jordan and I are not the stud overnight successes. We're the poster children for consistency, persistency, and resilience. I mean, neither of us, 10 years plus it took for him and I to achieve any level of success.
So as we kind of wrap this up, Jared, what are some of the key qualities of a sovereign surfer entrepreneur?
Wow, that's a great question. I need that for my brand identities. I'm building that out. What are the key qualities of a sovereign surfer? And again, Sovereign Surfer's me, right? That's my brand, but surfing is my ultimate expression of freedom.
Yeah.
So I think, as I build out that community, it's really what does freedom mean to you? And I know for Jordan, he had a dream to be a helicopter pilot, right? It just takes time. It just takes money. It is not cheap. And I know your helicopter stories, they're pretty epic. Um, I think the qualities are you got to dream big. Here comes the howler monkey. You might start hearing him.
Oh, we want to hear the monkey.
You might just hear him in the background here. You got to be resilient. You got to be persistent. You got to believe. You have to think
Oh, there it is.
right on cue.
We
There
got
he is.
monkeys.
I bet
now
you've
let's
never had that.
now let's tell them it's all a green screen and you got a little speaker in the back.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, guys. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get back in my efficiency apartment here in a second. What are the qualities? I think, man, you got to dream big. People always say that, but I've always been a dreamer. Even my parents, and I don't think they meant it really in a complimentary way initially. Like, oh, Jared, you're such a dreamer. Why don't you just be realistic and go get a real job? And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'll go get the job. I got to be practical, pay the bills. I can't live with my parents forever. But dude, I always knew, Jordan, your book was instrumental. That was what, 12 years ago you wrote
Oh
that?
no, 20. The first one was 20 years.
Okay,
20.
20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the initial one with you sitting on the beach with your feet up on the desk, right?
2008. You know what though? A little side note on that. That picture looks like me a lot, but
It's not you.
it's a 6 foot tall black man that
Oh my
they
God.
actually lightened him up to look like me because we ran out of time. We ran out of time to get the picture done, and they found that photo. It was a stock photo that we bought. So that
Are
picture
you
on the
serious?
book. Are you going to go get the book?
No, I don't have it here. I do have a
No,
couple surfing books here.
that picture on the book is not me, but everybody thinks it's me because it looks like me. When I look at it, I think it's me.
I wish I had the book, but I do have the original copy, bud. I actually have the original copy of that book. And, reading a book like that, I can remember most of the stories out of that book. I'm just like, that's going to be me one day. I'll be like Jordan.
Here you are.
And so what are the qualities? Look, man, I think you got to be a good human. You want to make it in the people business, you got to care about people.
Yeah.
You know, you have to care about people's success. When you're reaching out to somebody, it's not about what you're going to get. It's what you're going to, the word close, when people say, call me, I'll help you close them. I'm like,
No.
I don't want to close them. I want to open them up to possibilities.
Right.
I want to open them up to different ways of thinking. I think you and I represent true like beach money, even though you're not a surfer, right? Per se, you love the beach, you love
I like
freedom,
to
you love,
surf the air. I like to surf.
yeah, there you go, hand gliding or helicopter, right? So, what does freedom mean to you? But I just think the number one quality is, my number one value is freedom. If that's your number one value, you're gonna figure this out, and it's really not that hard. You just have to be resilient to other people's lack thinking. When people say no, it's not often they're saying no to you per se, although it could be. I mean, my first 5 years, I was working in bars and restaurants, trying to recruit all my broke waiter friends. And they're like, no, because, I didn't exactly represent a great lifestyle or freedom for them. I was one of them. I was a broke waiter like them. Like, yeah, sure, you're going to do great with these things. Yeah. So you have to have a vision. You have to be able to see beyond your current circumstances. Live in that efficiency apartment. I knew I wasn't going to be there forever. Digging change out of the cushions, legit story, and threw my truck on my 2 or 3 year old daughters in the back, hungry. Like I'll never forget that, man.
Wow.
Like to this day, it hits
Yeah.
hard because you got to be a resilient person. Because at that point, I probably just said, quit just chasing the dream, go get a job, take care of your daughter. And I did my best, but there was a tough time where it was a tough choice between, do I kind of settle and just kind of forget about my dreams and just go be practical? And the truth is, for most people, it's both, right? It's not a job or freedom. It's work your job, work your business consistently part time for as long as it takes 3 to 5 years.
in the beginning, you do a lot of work for very little pay, and then you get paid a whole lot of
Correct.
money later. Like you talked about not working much over the past few years, but you're still getting a residual check from work you did years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? That's the dream, right? And so you do as well. We have a lot of friends that have done it. Is it the norm? No. Is it possible? Yes. So all I need to know, Jordan, I just needed to know it was possible because impossible, if you break it down, is I'm possible. I am possible. So when people tell me, oh, it's impossible, nobody ever makes in those things. I'm like, okay, well, my buddy Jordan did. If he did it and he failed miserably for the first decade, well, there's a chance I could do it too. So I
Yeah,
think, if I want people to take anything from our conversation, it's just, man, just do it. It is so worth it. Whether you're on a cabin on a deck in Jerome, Arizona, or you got howler monkeys over your shoulder here in Nicaragua, whatever your dream or whatever your vision of freedom and sovereignty looks like, go do it. And any way we can be of service to help you, we're here,
very good.
and that's what I
And how
love
can
about you, Jordan.
is there a way that people could reach out to you if they want to meet you, or do you have
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably the easiest way is just on Facebook, Jared Maidenberg, Jared. Last name's a little tough. That howler monkey's getting loud. Uh, Maidenberg, Maidenberg, or Instagram. I do have a website up, Sovereign Surfer. It's not really finished,
uh
and I'm starting a Substack, but I'd say just reach out on social media. I'm pretty easy to
Instagram?
find.
Are you just Jared Maidenberg on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Sovereign Surfer. That's a hard word to spell, sovereign.
Yeah, it
Good
is.
luck with
I
that
had to
one.
look it up. Yeah. Well, hey, Jared, this has been fantastic. And I'm really excited for people to hear this episode and see the life that you're living and be inspired by that. And you dropped a whole bunch of wisdom over the past 35 minutes or so. And if someone were to sit down with a notepad and just write out some of the gems that Jared threw out today, I think it's going to really help you in your business. And I really appreciate you jumping on with us.
Man, this is a thrill for me. Beach money, it's been a dream for 20 years.
Yeah,
And to be living it and talking with the guy that planted the seed, it's pretty awesome, brother. I appreciate you, Jordan.
I love it.
Thank you, buddy.
Take care, everybody. Thanks.